In the vast worlds of Marvel heroes and villains, few characters are as misunderstood as the Invisible Woman and Ebony Maw. One is seen as a quiet, graceful member of the Fantastic Four, almost underestimated because of her gentle personality. The other is feared across the galaxy as the calm but terrifying voice of Thanos, the telekinetic mastermind behind some of the Avengers' most dangerous battles. But when you strip away the reputations and look at their true abilities, something extraordinary becomes clear. This hypothetical battle is not about muscles or speed. It is a showdown of the mind, of precision, of invisible power versus invisible control. Sue Storm, better known as the Invisible Woman, is far beyond the harmless or passive image many casual fans associate with her. In reality, she is one of the most dangerous psionic users in Marvel history. Her powers are not about disappearing. They are about shaping and weaponizing invisible energy at molecular and spatial levels. Her force fields can withstand nuclear-level impacts, contain cosmic threats, and shatter anything inside them. She is gentle by nature, but her power? Anything but gentle. Ebony Maw, on the other hand, represents the opposite philosophy. Where Sue acts with compassion, Maw acts with manipulation. Where Sue protects, Maw invades. His telekinesis is not wild or explosive, it is surgical, precise, and frighteningly intelligent. He does not simply move objects, he deconstructs them. He disarms enemies not by overpowering them, but by understanding their weaknesses instantly. In the MCU, he nearly defeated Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Spider-Man simultaneously, without raising his voice or losing his calm demeanor. A battle between these two forces is not just a fight. It is a chess match. A test of discipline and strategy. A clash of invisible powers where every move matters, every decision shapes the outcome, and every mistake could be fatal. The tension between their strengths creates a high-stakes scenario unlike any other, one that pushes both their abilities to the limit. The true scale of Invisible Woman's power. To understand this battle, we first need to understand who Sue Storm really is. Most casual viewers see her turn invisible and assume her power is simple. But fans who study the comics know something different. The Invisible Woman is an Omega-level force in disguise. Her abilities operate far beyond the physical world. Her force fields are not shields, they are constructs of psionic energy she can shape into any form she imagines. Sue can create giant barriers that withstand cosmic blasts. She can compress her shields into sharp, invisible blades. She can wrap a force field around someone's heart or brain and apply intense pressure from the inside. She has created domes strong enough to stop the Hulk mid-attack. She has contained explosions that would level entire cities. Her energy constructs can expand, collapse, suffocate, crush, reflect, slice, or even isolate someone from the surrounding environment. But the greatest advantage Sue brings to this fight is control. Her force fields are not simply strong, they are precise. She feels pressure, vibration, air displacement, and even psychic tension through them. In many battles, her invisibility becomes her least important ability. It simply creates the perfect distraction while she quietly builds a weapon around her opponent. In a fight with Ebony Maw, Sue's true abilities become the deciding factor. Maw relies on sensing movement, subtle shifts, and changes in matter. But Sue's force fields do not follow normal physics. They do not announce themselves. They do not move in predictable ways. They appear instantly and silently, the perfect counter to someone like Maw, who depends on observation and analysis. When Sue is at full power, she is not just dangerous. She is potentially unstoppable. Ebony Maw's masterful telekinetic dominion. Ebony Maw is not a brute force fighter. He is a telekinetic artist. His power is defined not by strength, but by absolute control. When he uses telekinesis, he manipulates the world like a surgeon handling delicate instruments. He can restrain someone without touching them, bend metal with a flick of his fingers, split objects into pieces, and orchestrate multiple attacks simultaneously while speaking with cold confidence. In Infinity War, he managed to immobilize Doctor Strange, a master sorcerer, with almost no effort. He redirected Iron Man's missiles like toys. He dismantled a city street and turned its debris into weapons. And yet, even in battle, he remained calm. That is his true advantage, composure. He thinks faster than his enemies. He analyzes their movements. He does not panic, even when he is outnumbered. He is not just powerful, he is intelligent. And intelligence is often more dangerous than brute strength. Against Sue Storm, Maw would begin the fight with overwhelming confidence. He would not underestimate her, but he would trust his telekinesis to restrain, overwhelm, or disable her quickly. He would attempt to twist her limbs, pull the ground beneath her, or trap her within a sphere of crushing force. But this overconfidence becomes a problem. Because Maw's telekinesis must interact with physical matter. Sue's force fields do not follow those rules. They cannot be bent or controlled like metal or debris. They do not respond to telekinetic manipulation. And because Sue can turn invisible, Maw would lose the immediate visual feedback he relies on. The fight turns from an easy victory into a puzzle Maw must solve, and he knows that the longer he takes, the more dangerous Sue becomes. The invisible battle of strategy and power. When these two finally face each other, the opening seconds decide everything. Maw begins by sweeping the environment with telekinetic waves, searching for Sue's movements. But Sue instantly turns invisible, completely removing herself from his perception. She creates a silent dome of force around her body, blocking any initial attempt at telekinetic restraint. Maw senses the disturbance, but not clearly enough to pinpoint her. This is where Sue's strategy becomes lethal. While Maw searches, she begins building tiny force fields around him, not to attack immediately, but to map out his weaknesses. She senses how quickly he reacts to pressure changes, how he manipulates materials, how he uses telekinesis as a web of information. Maw realizes she is harder to detect than Strange, harder to predict than Iron Man, and harder to manipulate than Spider-Man. His calm confidence shifts into focus. He tries to collapse the ground, pull debris into the air, and create pressure waves to reveal her location. But Sue responds with silent, floating barriers that absorb every strike. Then she shifts to offense. A tiny force field bubble forms behind Maw's knee. Then another near his ribs. Maw redirects metal shards to break them, but Sue simply creates more, silently, invisibly, relentlessly. The fight becomes completely psychological. Sue uses her invisibility and force fields as a multi-layered assault. Maw uses his telekinesis to sense disturbances and create rapid barriers. Both operate with incredible precision. Both refuse to panic. Both rely on their minds, not their muscles. But something becomes clear. Maw's telekinesis is limited by physics. Sue's force fields are not. That reality changes everything. Final verdict: who would win? When we look at raw power, Sue Storm has the higher ceiling. Her force fields can challenge cosmic entities, and her offensive capabilities, especially internal pressure attacks, can defeat even the strongest telekinetic users. She is calm, strategic, and extremely dangerous when she unleashes her full potential. Ebony Maw, however, is superior in precision. He is faster in analysis, quicker in reaction, and more experienced in manipulating his environment. In the early moments of battle, he could disorient Sue, stall her progress, or briefly contain her movements. But in a long, fully unleashed fight, Sue wins. Maw cannot manipulate her force fields. He cannot sense her once she turns invisible. He cannot defend against internal pressure attacks. And he cannot stop a force field crush once Sue commits. Final result: Invisible Woman wins, decisively, once she pushes beyond defense and uses her full range of psionic abilities. Ebony Maw is brilliant, but he cannot defeat an Omega-level force he cannot touch, sense, or manipulate. This battle ends not with chaos, but with a quiet, invisible strike, a perfect demonstration of why Sue Storm is one of Marvel's most underestimated powerhouses. Check out my other videos for more epic character crossovers and battles. Thanks for watching, and stay happy and healthy.